It's the Score North Twin Show. Baseball.
Little Feedback Friday edition of the Score North Twin Show here. We got our resident Twins historian, the sports dad, Judd Zulgad. We've got our resident current Twins beat podcaster in Declan Goff, scouring the clubhouse for notes and information. And we got the old beat writer, Phil Mackey, here on the Score North Twin Show. So we'll get to a few of your comments and questions from YouTube comment section and from the Score North app, including a super weird story that came out last night from ESPN about a recent Twins draft pick. And the Twins were on the grid earlier this week here, boys. So we'll get to an Immaculate Grid challenge. Hey, a reminder that we are giving away a 4-pack of tickets to the Renaissance Festival inside the Score North app. Renaissance Festival, September 29th is the last day. So we got weekends until September 29th. You got a couple more weeks to go hang out. And you can get those tickets, 4-pack of tickets. You can register to win them, at least, in the Score North app, listener rewards. So check that out. All right, boys.
Baseball.
Got to go take 2 out of 3 this weekend, huh? We'll grab a couple wins.
That'd be nice.
Stay ahead of these middling teams. Let's start with Robbie B. So if that doesn't happen, and if things go sideways even more here, Robbie B says, I need your guys' take on something. On the Extra Innings episode earlier this week, Ross stopped the show to call out fans, and I didn't hear this, but Dex, you can fill it in. Call out fans and said there's no chance of Roco getting fired simply because it's not going to happen inside this organization. Is that true? This organization wouldn't consider removing the manager at all? And if that's the case, would they not consider any changes to the front office? If this is true, I've never heard a more clear case for why this is a non-championship caliber organization. If they fall from 17 games over 500 to out of the playoffs, and there would be zero consideration into making any changes, then this organization does not deserve to win championships.
I side with Ross that it's very unlikely, even with an epic collapse over these next 2.5 weeks. I think it's highly unlikely they'd make a change. This organization loves consistency. They don't like change, for God's sakes. So they'll cite, well, Buxton got hurt, Correa got hurt, we wore down. However, where I will side with some Twins fans or Robbie here is, if this happens, this would be, I believe, the second or maybe even third time the Twins have had a pretty epic collapse with Roco in September.
Yep.
And that we're now not getting unlucky. That's a trend where your team starts to get really struggle down the stretch over the last 30 games. It's September, by the way. Everyone hates baseball at that point. All right, they dislike it. It's a long season. They've been doing it for 6 months. Yes, the eyes of a championship in playoff baseball. I'm not trying to diminish what the majority of players are still chasing for, which is a championship. But it gets difficult this time of year, and I would be shocked though if they made a firing of Roco or Derek Falvey. Shocked.
I agree with that for the most part. Now, if they go into the Baltimore series with like a lead and then they get swept by Baltimore, could I see a potential knee-jerk reaction? Maybe. But I just, and we've talked about this before, I don't think Derek Falvey is going to fire a guy who follows his lead. Like, I don't think Roco has to take the blame for in-game decisions because nobody ever comes out and says it's not really him on the record. But we all know that there are agreements made here. I mean, Bailey Ober has been pulled twice, including last Saturday, 83 pitches, 1 hitter, 2-0 lead. You really think that's all Baldelli? I don't. But if they epically collapse in the last weekend, would I be floored by it? No. But I'm more with Declan and Ross. I think it's very unlikely. Sort of why I want them to miss, though, because I want their hand to be forced. I'd love to see what they do, because you know what? Just from a standpoint of PR, this season off the field as well has been a disaster.
It's been, yeah, for as good of vibes there were, even after getting beat in that series against the Astros. I mean, fans were still they got a standing ovation after getting beat, right? If I remember correctly, because they finally won a playoff game and a series, and Royce Lewis is hitting grand slams and stuff. And then basically from November 1st all the way through, And they were 17 games over 500, so they played some good baseball. But yeah, the stock has fallen since November 1st of 2023. And, I don't think, Sports Dad on this show is the most likely one on this or Purple Daily to call for someone's head explicitly. I personally am not a big call for people's heads emotionally guy, but I will say, to Declan's point, teams deal with injuries. It happens. I don't think you can have multiple falls from graces where you are tanking in August and September. If they miss the playoffs after being 17 games over 500, and then you combine it with what happened after the trade deadline in 2022, I don't know how you can let things like that happen in a highly competitive Major League Baseball environment. There's only 30 of these jobs, managers, GMs, everything, right? And not have some level of accountability. I just don't know how you can let things happen and slide and not at least tell fans and tell the organization, hey, listen, we have a standard, and it's not just if we happen to reach the standard, then that's awesome. If we don't, we'll try again next year. It is, we have a standard, and we need to be reaching that standard, or there will be people held accountable. And I just don't sense that that's the case. It feels like an inconvenience when the Twins have to make a decision of that magnitude, which is why they really haven't much over the years, right? Molitor, they felt like they had to make a move. Terry Ryan, they felt like, man, 100 losses, and they felt like, but it always has to get to a point where, oh, geez, I guess we just lost 100 games. I guess we have no choice but to make a move. So in some ways, patience is the right way to go. You don't want to be a chaotic organization, but there does need to be a certain level of accountability and a certain level of people feeling some fire to win games and do something extra.
Yeah, my fear is this though: if they completely collapse, which is plausible, and Roco gets fired, is that putting a Band-Aid on a massive wound? Because again, I don't think Roco is in a vacuum saying, hey, you know what? Screw you, Falvey. Here's my decision. I think if they massively collapse again, you have to call the whole orchestration into question, because baseball's not run like the TK Gardy days. That was the man.
Well, another thing I would ask, and I generally don't know the answer to this because it's impossible to evaluate this without knowing a lot more information about the Twins and other organizations, but I feel like every so often as an ownership group, if your goal is to win a World Series in a hyper competitive, here are the 29 franchises you're competing against, you should ask yourself, do we have one of the 10 best heads of baseball operations in the world? Do we have one of the 10 best, not 30 best? Do we have one of the 5 or 10 best at this job, at that job? Roster, right? Right. And if you objectively ask that question and compare to the rest of the league and say, yes, we do. We do, but we've got to fix some things. Okay, then keep everyone in place. But if you ask that question and you feel like, yeah, you know what? Maybe we don't. Then you do owe it to yourselves and the fans to look at some changes. I don't know the answer because I don't have enough information about the rest of the GMs and presidents of baseball operations.
And where I struggle with your point, though, is this one, okay? Perhaps Falvey is doing a bang-up job being the essentially president of baseball ops, right? Building the farm system, which now is pretty damn good. Look like he's done a lot of things wrong, but he's done some stuff really right, too. But if he's now dipping his toes like a lot of guys are, or just his whole damn hand into game day, what if he's really bad at that, but he thinks he's good, but now Baldelli is going to do what he asked, because if Baldelli goes rogue, he gets fired automatically. That's the thing is, what I would love to know is, what is the control the people who might be front office, not game day people, but now they're doing things that have overstepped the bounds. It becomes a link, right? And instead of it being, okay, you're to blame for this, you're to blame for that, it becomes who's to blame. That's what makes this incredibly dicey, because I don't know that. But I mean, I am not naive enough to think that Derek Falvey is not very much involved in what transpires in the dugout. Right,
but the story of the season is not over yet either. Because the story could end very differently in a month from now, where if they hang on to a wild card spot and they win a road wild card series, and now they've got back-to-back years of advancing in the playoffs, and maybe they even get beat in the division round. But okay, we fought through another Correa injury and another Buxton injury and developed Bailey Ober to be a game one playoff starter and won a playoff series again. Now it all feels very much different in 30 days from now. So that I feel like there's a lot at stake in the next
I agree.
3 to 4 weeks here for what needs to happen going forward.
During the 8 and 15 stretch, and yes, guys who are absolutely key guys have been hurt, but during this 8 and 15 stretch, which was 6 and 15 before you beat the crappy Angels back to back, what worries me though is you're making moves that at times make no sense, or you're not making moves. Like, why was Jorge Alcala allowed to stay? And that Texas game, you're going to lose games like that. I'm not saying that you're not. But why did you watch him give up 5 runs? The Griffin Jacks thing drives me crazy. About 3 weeks ago, we were told Griffin Jacks is not, because he has to be kept fresh. He's not going to pitch back to back, or he's not going to pitch consecutive innings. Okay. All right. Okay. But then they're like, well, he might. And now he is. Well, I could have told you if you were going to do that now, you should have done that against the Padres. Like that's the thing, is who's making these. It feels like a very black and white decision making process that ends up looking hypocritical, because you then flip it and it's like, I could have told you from my couch, you should have not brought in Steven Okert. And so could have everybody else, including all of our dogs.
Yeah, I get that.
So that's what frustrates me.
And I think the counter argument to that is you learn from your mistakes. So yes, if in the moment and when they say those things, it's okay, it's a little confusing, but then if you'd like to see them learn from it, and maybe that's their case here, where their bullpen was imploding so much where, all right, Griffin Jacks is probably one of the 5 to 10 best high leverage relievers in the game. If we need outs, we're going to then pitch him a second time. I just want them to learn from these mistakes. And if they can learn from these mistakes, to Phil's point, and they win a wild card series or make a run, I don't know, to the ALCS or something, then it's that's a successful season. It's definitely a successful season.
I just feel like there's a difference between mistakes and moronic activity.
Right. But sometimes that's what I said. Like in the next month, you can't just fire based on a couple of bullpen decisions here and there, or 2 bullpen decisions.
No, if they blow it, if they do not make the playoffs, I think that there is at least a conversation.
Agreed. If they miss the playoffs, there should be some self-reflection.
Consequences?
We'll just put it that way, yeah. Charlie W. says, hello, esteemed gentlemen. I hope this email finds you before I do. I'm sitting here at the Twins-Angels game thinking about the teams and the fan base here in the Twin Cities. I came to realize that I have a bone to pick with a faction of fans here. Why are there so many fans that are okay with mediocrity? If the 2 options for the next 5 years were either A, go just above 500 and have the playoff spot come down to the wire, or B, 4 of the 5 years be bottom 3, bottom 5 in the league, but the 5th year win a championship, I think fans would choose option A in Minnesota. Wow. We need to be better as a fan base and stop putting up with mediocrity.
Well, the issue, I think, with some of the logic there, though, is, yes, like, would I take what the Royals did 10 years ago, where on the bookends of that, now they're going to make the playoffs for the first time since winning the World Series, but on the bookends of that are 20 years of being the doormat of a division. But every 25th year, you pop up to the point where you're making a couple World Series runs, you get a championship. As someone who has never seen or experienced a men's championship, yes, I will take that in a heartbeat. But it's also very difficult what he's saying in baseball to pull off. Where yes, you can be bad for 3-4 years, then become Baltimore, and Baltimore is positioned to be very good for a long time. Like, this isn't a pop-up with Baltimore. The Birds are probably going to be a very good team for the next 3 to 4 years, if not more. So I think it's difficult to be bottom feeders and then be contenders overnight and then be bottom feeders again in Major League Baseball. It's very difficult to do that.
I think we can definitely say this. This town, he's right in this sense, and it's not just the Twins. This town accepts mediocrity. They get mad about it, but they don't do much about it. So, like, I do think across the board, and you know what? His explanation on the Twins is essentially, or has been, the Vikings. Just be competitive. Mm-hmm. And the Vikings are but they don't have a championship. So I get the point. And I will say this, though. The tanking thing in baseball is dead. The White Sox now can't even qualify for a top 10 pick. So like the Baltimore Houston Cubs thing, which was be as horse bleep as possible and get probably the first or second pick, that's dead. But I do think that there is a lack of pressure in this town, partially because of our passive aggressive nature, to just sort of bitch and moan about it. But that's about all we do.
Yeah. And then a bunch of people have asked us about this ESPN.com story here from Jeff Passan and Kylie McDaniel. About a Twins prospect here. I'm just going to read this. The Twins released minor league catcher Derek Bender on Thursday after he told opposing hitters the types of pitches that were coming to the plate during at-bats in the game last week that eliminated his team from playoff contention, sources told ESPN. Now, that's accountability. Bender, a sixth round pick, by the way, in baseball, there's like 50 rounds. So a sixth round pick is a pretty high draft pick.
Yep.
You know, that you're looking to hit on 5th, 6th, 8th rounders. Like Brian Dozier was an 8th rounder, if I'm not mistaken. Bender, a 6th round pick out of Coastal Carolina in July, was playing for the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles. In the second game of a September 6th doubleheader, Bender told multiple hitters for the Lakeland Flying Tigers the specific pitches being thrown by starter Ross Dunn, sources said. Lakeland scored 4 runs in the second inning and won the game 6-0 to clinch the Florida State West League West Division and eliminate the Mighty Muscles from playoff contention. Fort Myers held a 6-game lead just 3 weeks earlier, so I guess this is a pandemic throughout the organization, blowing big leads. Fort Myers coaches were notified by Lakeland coaches about his pitch tipping after the game. His willingness to tip pitches surprised Lakeland players, and there were no indications of wrongdoing by the Tigers. They're just being told what the pitches were. Like, what? So this dude had a signing bonus of $300,000, and he will keep the entirety of his $300,000 signing bonus.
Yep.
He was batting 200 in 19 games with really no other meaningful statistics. What?
It's a wild situation.
It's a great story.
It's a
fantastic story.
To my point of like, and I've had friends too that played minor league baseball and did that grind, and now being in the clubhouse like around, I'm well aware that by September and October, baseball players are sick of the season. It's long, it's grinding, it's a ton of stuff. But to purposefully throw games because he's quoted saying, I didn't want to play anymore, is a wild thing to do. It's a wild thing to do. He basically, and maybe this guy is a financial genius and is going to invest that money, and he just got a 6-figure lump sum, and now he's going to go work in finance or something and be okay because he got a crazy 6-figure bonus in 2024. But that's such a wild thing to do.
This is Bull Durham, right?
Yes, Nuke LaLoosh.
Yeah.
And Crash.
It's a fastball. Curveball.
Yep.
Trying to teach his pitcher a lesson.
Yep.
Now, maybe that was it. Hey, I'm trying to teach this pitcher a lesson. It's a playoff game, right?
First of all, why would you not, like, if the guy did this, why would you not contest the signing bonus, considering the fact that you're poor, according to you, is $300,000?
Yeah, Twins need that money.
I'd want most of it back. But second of all, like, how stupid do you have to be giving what the pitch coming is? Like, if I was going to cheat my team, I would find a different way. So, like, was he behind the plate saying fastball? Terrible.
So, and presumably the umpire heard it too, right? So, if you're the umpire, do you just let it go, or is it sort of reverse psychology? Because your first thought might be, if you're a hitter or the umpire, oh, he's just trying to screw with these guys. He's trying to throw them off, right?
Yeah.
Fastball.
But I think
okay, buddy.
I think I'd stop it because no matter what you're doing, it'd be really like it's either terrible sportsmanship towards the opponent, right? Or it's terrible sportsmanship towards your team, which I guess is what it turned out.
So he must hate that pitcher. There must be some like
personal.
I think it's the latter. I think he wanted to go home.
Yeah,
I think he literally didn't want to do this anymore.
I don't want to do this anymore.
100%.
And then he gets to keep the money?
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah, I would love for the players, well, and granted, the MLB Players Association is different, right, from the minor, because
They don't represent them, right?
They don't represent them.
Yeah, so
But for the minor league players association to have to represent that case, if that happens, it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. Excuse me, that's a wrong thing to say. It's a similar case. If the NFLPA has to defend Deshaun Watson in this latest claim, they would set a precedent for
It's precedent, yeah,
to
because
defending that.
you
Been
don't
watching a
want
lot of SVU lately.
the PA is not any good for football. So,
But in minor league baseball, I think they would probably say, well, we can't just let teams pick and decide how they want to steal back signing bonuses and stuff. But like, bro, you're literally
I was
sabotaging.
gonna say this guy is he's sabotaging his team.
Yeah. So super weird story.
Baseball.
The Fort Myers Mighty
Splinker.
Muscles met their demise. In
Splinker's
the
coming.
Florida State League, man.
Curve,
It's knuckleball. Knuckleball. Told you. I told you it was a
I told you,
knuckleball.
but why'd you take that?
high and tight, fastball.
All right, let's put the Twins on the grid here. The Immaculate Grid Challenge. Whenever the Twins are on the grid, we bring it to the show. For the YouTube audience, by the way, click that subscribe button on the brand new, as of the beginning of the season, brand new Score North Twin Show YouTube channel. We also have Score North Twin Show Instagram and TikTok accounts now. So check those out if you partake in social media.
Nice.
So we're looking for, and for the audio audience, we will guide you through this. We're looking for a twin who was once a Cardinal, a twin who was once a Guardian or an Indian, and a twin who played only for the Twins. Could be one game, could be Kirby Puckett, 10 years, but their only games were with the Twins.
Yep.
And then we're looking for a Cub who was a Cardinal, a Cub who was a Guardian, and a Cub who played only with the Cubs. And then a 40 home run season
That's gonna be so
Cardinal,
difficult.
40 home run season Guardian, 40 home run season only played for one team their entire
gonna be
career.
This is going to be hard to kill it.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
It might,
so
yeah,
tough to get it low.
it might be
Declan's
hard to
right.
get a low rarity score, but
Declan's
well,
right.
let's start with the Twins. So twin who was a Cardinal, twin who was a Guardian, or a twin who only played for the Twins.
Kyle Loesch was a twin and a Cardinal.
How about? I'm pretty sure
Jason
on this.
Marquis?
And Phil was there too. I am pretty sure PJ Walters was a Cardinal.
Yep,
Oh.
we've used him for this square before.
Okay.
PJ Walters,
We
great
want- I mean,
curveball.
That's a great low. If we want to do
That's a good
something different because we're using it again, I understand.
That's good.
No,
But-
it's going to get us the lowest score, so we should. That's great.
All right.
I'll throw a couple other fun ones out.
Sure.
Jim Cott, who's going to be a little higher, and then
Tommy Herr.
Bob Tewksbury, yeah, Tom Herr,
Tommy Herr, Tom Bernansky.
Nick Punto,
Punto.
old Punto.
Well-
I think Punto won a World Series with them.
If we're going for, I think he
I think
did.
he did.
If we're going for low, going back to the Walters well is probably the best call.
Yeah, let's do it.
So
Old PJ
I
Walters.
didn't remember that at all, but
There he is.
what a forgettable career.
He was definitely
0.04.
Yeah, that's good.
definitely a long line of random ass pitchers in the early Target Field days.
Cleveland and the Twins, Blyleven.
Chris Jimenez. Wasn't Jimenez a long time catcher
Yeah.
for the Guards?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I
That
think he
sounds
played here in the
right.
pandemic year.
Alex Cole was an
God, what's
outfielder.
I don't remember him.
Speed and Rex Specs.
Yep.
Okay.
Cole
He
wore
tore,
Rex
I think he
Specs.
tore his knee on
Oh.
the old turf at the Metrodome.
My guy Jason Tyner, I think, finished with Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Old
Tyner.
Tyner.
Okay.
Greg Swindell was a longtime
He was a good Indian.
Indian.
Yeah, he was really good with them towards the end here.
Marty Cordova.
Oh, I forgot he played for Cleveland. Tyner's probably good.
Paul Sorrento. Played, I think,
Pavano.
for
Yeah.
Pavano.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of slappy relievers
Yeah.
that made the trek
Well,
from-
Juan Rincon played for the Gardos.
Oh, that's a good one. That's low. That's low as well. I think in the 70s.
Well, Swindell was a slappy reliever for the Twins. He was
Right, but he was a pretty noted Guardian / Indian. I'm trying to think if there's any 70s really, slappies that played for both teams.
I would say of the
Oh, you know
options we
who's-
just threw out. Yeah, go ahead.
From the late 60s, Craig Nettles. who
Craig
played-
Nettles.
Yeah, who played third base and was a hero in the 78 World Series in the field with the Yankees. But he started as a Twin and was traded to Cleveland. And then
Wow.
subsequently to the.
I mean, if you
don't-
want to go old
confident.
school, we'll go
I don't.
old school.
Well,
Do it.
I'm very confident. I don't think that people are going to associate him with
Yeah.
either of these clubs.
Craig.
I think it's no. I'm sorry. I think it's with a,
Greg Nettles. Greg
Yeah.
Nettles.
Yeah, but it's a weird
Yeah, yeah.
spelling. It's a weird spelling. It's like GRAIG.
G-R-A-I-G.
Yeah, it's an odd.
Just put
spelling.
Nettles.
There he is.
N-E-T-L. N-E-T.
There he is.
Yeah, and don't pick the wrong one because he had a brother. Okay, cool.
Okay, 6'7" to 88.
Yep. I was very worried. I didn't want to get this screwed up.
Nettles.
Okay.
1.
1%.
1%. Okay.
Yeah, great Yankee, third baseman, but not remembered as a twin.
And then there's a bajillion options for who are the most random. Joe Benson. Like, who are the most random, I think.
Brian
I mean,
Dinkelman.
No, Joe Benson bounced
Dinkelman.
to the Rangers.
Oh, you're right. He did play for the
Tommy Watkins.
Tommy Watkins. Yeah. Anthony
used Glenn-
Slamma.
We've used Glenn Williams before. I think Slamma. I think
He
he
might have had a cup of coffee elsewhere
with the
too.
Dodgers. Oh, I don't remember.
Byung Ho Park.
Park Bang.
Did Tsuyoshi Nishioka ever go anywhere? No, he just went,
No, he
went
just went
back
home.
to.
No, that
He
might
gave
be
his money
popular
back.
though.
He gave his money back.
Yeah. I mean, Dinkelman. Who was the other one before Dinkelman?
You said Joe Benson.
Oh. He did go to the Rangers, though. I
okay.
can't remember if it was. I think it might have
What
been
about
that
those
or
2011 Twins? Like, so Dinkelman was in that outfield.
Kyle Waldrop.
Kyle Waldrop. Okay.
One team
I
there.
think he was.
Go to the
I mean, I got a bunch
Baltimore.
of guys from the 70s and 80s, but I can't swear to God that they didn't bounce to a different
I
team
mean, we've used Glenn Williams.
and get a cup of coffee.
Glenn Perkins.
Also, think of any.
Glenn Perkins?
Granted, it might be more top of mind, but any player right now on the Twins who
Right.
has made their debut would qualify.
Okay. What if we used? Yeah, let's do that. What if?
Ronnie Henriquez. Yeah.
No, I
Did he go somewhere?
thought he came from somewhere else.
Okay. This is
Yeah, I'm
good.
pretty sure he's
Talking
not
this
a
up.
kid.
Well, what about Zebby Matthews?
Zebby Matthews.
Yeah, Festa.
The Zebster.
Matthews.
Let's just see if this will be a good experiment for us because this does pop up once every couple months. Are people paying attention to the current roster?
All right, yeah, I like this.
Point 4.
No,
Point
they're
four.
not.
No, they are not.
Bingo.
And he's got a
They're thinking
Cedar
fuck it.
Rapids hat on. The Colonels.
Ken Herbeck. Okay,
You could do. Do we know any? Do we know any rookie Cubs?
I don't.
We need AJ
I
Fredrickson. We
lost
need
touch,
AJ
man.
here. Because you could do the same logic for the Cubs for this
Yeah.
year's team.
Ernie Banks played for
Yeah,
only the
that won't
Cubs.
get a lot of.
I'm trying to think of current Cubs right now. I mean, who's
Mark
their?
Pryor only played for the Cubs.
Who
Those
is
are-
Who's their ace?
Ian Happ?
He played for the Rockies, didn't he? Or am I thinking of another Hap?
Jody Davis? Did he play? He was a longtime Cubs catcher in the 80s. I don't remember if he bounced around. See, this is where I'm nervous. And I don't know the Cubs now, so.
Like they're their Japanese ace. Like
Yeah.
that would work.
Yeah, I feel like that.
I have no
I feel
idea
like
how to
that
spell
would
his
be
name.
picked, though. Like, Zebby's great because, he doesn't even come to mind right now.
God, man, as a longtime Cubs fan, as my second team, I've lost touch with their current iteration.
Okay, Phil,
And I'm out
are
of
there
fantasy
any,
baseball.
Are there any Cubs from when you watched them a lot? Because that's what I'm trying to think of from the 80s.
I know. I mean,
Who
like,
were-
I'm
who were
going through all those
lifetime
90s
Cubs.
rosters. The 90s Cubs were super transient. It
I
was
love that
like,
word. I love that word. That's a great word. Yeah.
because I'm just thinking of like the mid
Mark-
90s Cubs. A
Did
lot
Mark
of,
Grace end up elsewhere?
Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks.
That's what I thought. Okay.
He won a World Series with the Diamondbacks.
you're right. You're right.
The D-backs.
I mean, Sammy Sosa played for like 5 other
White
teams.
Sox, Rangers.
Derek May, Candy Maldonado, those are other teams.
The 80s were the same way too. Pitchers?
Jim
Who was-
Bollinger
I had
played
his
for the.
jersey. Who?
Cardinals.
Carlos Marmol. Did he go anywhere?
I think he went to the Orioles, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he got picked up,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Let's come back to this one.
Yeah, I feel like we're bogging down. We're bogging
Let's
down.
use Harry Carey for. We can't do broadcasters for Cardinals and.
Jim Bollinger was a Cub and Cardinal, right?
It's funny. I threw his name out as a random '90s Cub. I know he played for other teams. I don't know. Yeah, Jim Bollinger,
I thought he did, but I don't want to swear to it. I could
Rogers
derail us.
Hornsby would fit Cardinals and Cubs
Roger.
if you want to go old school.
Superstar Sam Full didn't play for St. Louis, did he? Jason
Not the-
Hayward would work for this.
Yep, he would.
Might
Gary
go high.
Gaetti.
Gaetti is a slam dunk.
Todd Zeal.
How many people remember? I mean, I like Gary Gaetti.
Gary Gaetti might not be remembered as both of these teams. I sort of like that one.
For Cardinals,
Yeah.
Cubs.
Yeah, I think that one's not bad.
1, yeah. Good job.
Gary Getty. Oh, nice.
Great stash decks. Look at that stash.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Sorry, my maintenance. We
Cleveland-
have a broken washing machine right now, and maintenance just
Oh, God.
texted me here.
That'd be awful.
Cleveland and the Cubs, Joe Carter, Rick Sutcliffe. Who else was in that trade? They sent 5 guys, didn't they?
Yeah, Sutcliffe, man. I don't remember the trade though. Terry Mulholland pitched for both these
Oh.
teams.
That'd be good.
It's good.
You know, another guy who I don't know if he finished his career with the Cubs, but he definitely was in a string of random center fielders that the Cubs had. Was Kenny Lofton played a season with the Cubs?
Oh, did he?
Yep,
I kind of like
Good.
Terry.
Okay,
little Terry Mulholland.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, Terry Mulholland's a sneaky Immaculate Grid guy because he
Yeah,
played
yeah.
Jesse Orozco.
Oh God, Orozco.
Point 4 for Terry.
Cool.
Let's go, dude.
Great eyebrows.
What about let's do home run seasons here.
All right.
Oh my.
Did Scott Rowland get 40? That's a lot. Did Ryan Ludwig get 40?
Ryan Ludwig.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm
Chris
pulling some
Duncan,
Cardinals.
rest in
Chris
peace.
Duncan, yeah,
I don't think he.
RIP.
I don't think he
He didn't
did
get
though.
40,
I
did
don't
he?
think he did.
No, I don't think he did either. Jim Edmonds,
Yep.
he did it. Might be high.
Pujols, McGuire,
Yeah.
Musial.
Did Goldschmidt again? Recent. Did Goldschmidt do it? I feel like he. might have.
Goldschmidt definitely did it with the Diamondbacks.
Backs. Did Arenado do it?
Hornsby,
Did Hornsby do it?
old Rogers Hornsby. I mean, didn't see much of his play back in the early 1900s, but we've used him. I'm not 100% sure.
That
I
might have been
mean,
dead ball though.
I think Jim Edmonds is.
Okay, yeah, this is not going to be low, probably, you guys.
That's
I do
okay.
agree with that.
11. Yep.
But we're not going to. I don't think we're going to beat the system.
All right. Didn't we have some like kerfuffle with 30 home run guards like last time we played the grid and we looked it up and you guys said remember this?
Andre Thornton, I don't know. He got to 40. He definitely got to 30. He was mine from the 70s, but I would not swear
Okay.
he got to 40.
Tommy will be high. That'll be the highest.
The problem is this:
Manny Ramirez will be high. Albert
in the
Bell.
70s, you didn't have a ton. Like in the 70s, the 80s, and before roids, you
Yeah, it
didn't
didn't
have a
happen a lot.
ton of 40 home run guys. I think the only 50 home run guy when I was a kid was George Foster in like 77 with the Reds. So
Okay.
like this is
Yeah, it is more.
there's a
it's
lot of
definitely-
home runs.
Travis Hafner hit at least 40 for one of my fantasy rotisserie
Oh, that's good.
teams one time.
Yep, let's
And I
go
think
with
we
that.
used them last time.
We did.
Bebop,
Travis Hafner.
Dakota guy,
8.
right? Like North Dakota.
8%.
Not bad.
See, the fact that Edmonds is 11 and Hafner is
shoot.
8 tells me
No,
that there's
Hafner-
not that many.
Hafner went to the Yankees, right? I think he did. Otherwise, we could have used that for the one team. If he just stayed in Cleveland,
No, I think he did leave.
he did. Okay.
Yeah, I think he left.
Okay.
There's any number of old Yankees we could. So we're looking for 40 home run season.
Mantle.
Only played for one team their entire career, and like Mantle, DiMaggio,
Killer
Gehrig.
went to the Royals at the end, right? Killebrew.
Yeah.
Yes, he spent
Did-
1 year with the Royals.
Ted Williams managed the Mets. Did he ever play for a team that wasn't Boston?
No, the Senators.
The Senators.
But
okay.
no, he was a lifelong Red Sox. That would work.
Mike Trout.
Again,
Todd Helton.
let's hold on here. Is there any current last year or two 40 home run guy
Who's only on one team?
that's only been on the same team still?
Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso would be one. See, like
Oh,
that's
that's
a good
good.
one. Alonso.
Go Mets. That's good.
Trying
Acuna.
Yep. Acuna
Okay.
would work. So yeah, we got current guys, the ones that are the sneaky ones to remember here.
Okay.
I mean, I'm good with. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alonso's fine with me.
I still think it's probably gonna be highish, but
We're not going to beat this.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
we just have to accept our.
We can do it. Let's do it.
6. Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
that's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's just
Yeah.
not. And then a Cub who only, well, at this point, Ernie Banks. We know we can do Ernie Banks. We can finish the grid. It depends on how aggressive do we want to be with Cub who only played for the Cubs.
what's the name of their Ace pitcher. That's the one I'm trying to think of. The Japanese pitcher.
I just don't know, man.
And I don't know. It's like in.
It's Imma.
Buddy.
Just start typing stuff in.
Yeah, just type IMA.
Yeah,
Yep.
here he is.
There he is. Yeah.
That guy.
But I can't pronounce his name correctly.
What was the
7.
score?
Yeah,
7?
no, that's good.
And we got 35.
All right. Nice job, guys. That's pretty good. It's tough. How many options were there on the... Can you go down? Or does it say how many...
390.
Oh, so
Look,
there...
that's
there were-
McGuire, Edmonds.
So there is only 5 options for Cardinal 40 home run hitters.
There's only 28
Only
for one team.
7 Guardians. And only 28 for one team.
Yeah. This game was
Interesting.
rigged
Did
against
do it.
us.
Pujols.
Hornsby had
Edmonds,
40
Yep.
as a Cardinal.
McGuire, Johnny Mize, and Rogers Hornsby.
Old
the
Johnny
Big Cat.
Mize.
Johnny Mize, the Big Cat. Now that's a nickname. Johnny Mize, Big Cat, nickname. Not Mize.
Did Andres Galarraga play for the Cardinals before
Yes.
the Rockies, right?
Yes, he played for the Expos. He came up with the Expos, played for the Cardinals, and then went to the Rockies.
Yeah.
Saw him play once at Busch Stadium. Also the Big Cat.
Yeah. Hey, good stuff here today. And by the way, if you're a young baseball player out there, don't tell the opposing team what pitches are coming, huh?
Knuckleball.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Sweeper. It's a sweeper. Or is it a slider? You'll find out.
Cutter.
See you guys.
Forkball.
Gyro ball.
12-6.